So we're here in beautiful Banff, and it's just an amazing place, very majestic. And I get to travel to all these great places to do my presentation and my show. And typically the hypnosis thing scares people because people think, well, what are they going to do? Or what am I going to make them do? And a lot of them, my typical response is when I meet people, their response is, don't look at me, get away. So it's fun in the sense of I get to play with that, but at a beneficial level, hypnosis is what we're doing to ourselves all day long in terms of the thoughts that we think, the pictures that we have in our mind, and more importantly, if they're driving our behavior to either get more of what we want or not. And so I get to peel back the layers of my show and teach people how to program their subconscious to, today it's going to be stress management. A lot of people are going through change, whether they're in their personal or professional life, and I get to relate how hypnosis can get people to release their stress and program their subconscious, where 95% of our behavior is driven, it's held in the subconscious. And so it's very passionate for me to, not only entertain the people, but to educate people so they can empower themselves.
We're always using our brains all the time. We've got different areas, different functions. And what I personally know to be true for myself and my own experience in studying top performers is that when people are ineffective and they're not performing at their best, they are riddled with fear and stress and paralyzed. They're not in alignment with who they are. When you have a goal, a dream, an aspiration, and you're lined up with the thoughts that say you support that, you feel good. And then everything is working for you.
So I'm always learning because everybody has pain points and everybody has challenges. So for me to be able to align my GPS message, set your great programmable subconscious to help people overcome a problem to achieve a goal is really rewarding. And I never know exactly what they're going through. So people will come up to me and they'll say, wow, I really want to use this because I have a health challenge or a relationship challenge. So a lot of times it's not even specific to their industry. The personal growth is such a foundational component of professional growth because how people are in their personal lives, they take to their work, they take to their profession. So that always is something that really is important to me because I never know exactly how it's playing out. And for myself, I've done this 5,000 presentations and it feels like I'm just getting started because for me, I'm fine-tuning the messaging, seeing what people are really connecting with. And again, getting back to the hypnosis, it doesn't get old because the people and their reactions are always different. I mean, even though the routines may be the same, their character comes out, and that's always fascinating to see.
As you look at your own hands, the more you try to take your hands apart, the more you can't. Give them an honest try. You'll find they are locked, solid, glued, stuck, cemented. You can't get them apart. Is that fascinating, Kat? Yeah. And at some level you could, but it's like you can't get them apart, right? It's how our mind works. So when I push your hands down, you just melt. Sleep. Just sleep. 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 Sleep.
It's about people letting go of their fears and inhibitions to become themselves. And it's the number one thing that stops any of us, and it's some form of fear, but it usually sounds like, what are people going to think of me? Like people have this need for approval or to be accepted, and so they usually don't step out of their comfort zone. So the show is amazing because people get to release their fears and inhibitions through hypnosis, which is relaxing your mind to accept a new idea or belief. And when somebody becomes like the greatest dancer in the world, how does that translate to everyday life? Well, most people actually don't think they're great dancers, or they don't want to dance in front of people. So when you see people dance on stage, it becomes a metaphor to the dance of life. And so the people that are in the show and they get themselves out there and they put themselves out there, they become the stars. And it's the same thing in life. People that put themselves out there become the ones that are rewarded.
In a moment, what I'm going to get you to do is I'm going to get you to close your eyes, okay? And when you do, you're going to roll your eyes in the back of your head. And when I tap you on the forehead, you're going to melt, like your whole body's made from a handful of loose rubber bands. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Take a deep breath in. Look at me. Let it out the side. Now everybody's watching because everybody wants to see how relaxed you get, right? So you're setting the tone. Deep breath in. You're not hypnotized yet, are you? Let it out. Another deep breath in. Close your eyes, roll your eyes in the back of your head. Watch out quick. 3, 2, 1. Sleep deep into relaxation.
It's thrilling for me to break down the process of teaching people how to suspend a belief, how to relax their mind, and tap into their subconscious to believe that anything's possible and that they're unlimited. You know, a great illustration is in the show, I have people become these concert musicians, symphony orchestra, and they are motivated, and I give them suggestions, and that's the key, is that the fine-tuning of suggestions and giving powerful positive suggestions get them to see it as if it's already real. And then that's what plays out on stage. Through suggestion, they're seeing an image, and that image is not magic, it's how we process information, it's how we think. But most people's images are negative. And that comes from negative self-talk, which then becomes a negative program in the subconscious. Which is so cool, when you see these people that are musicians up on stage, I'll even say, like, do you even know who's really a musician up here? I'll ask the audience, because they can't tell, because they're acting as if they're the greatest musicians in the world. Being able to break that down and tell people, you know, when you start to act as if you're that greatest thing you want to become, or you already act as if you've accomplished that goal, seeing it in your mind and visualizing it and really feeling as if you've achieved it, it starts to become a reality.
I know you want more of that feeling. It's in your heart, it always has been. You just got to activate it with a simple movement. Put your hand to your heart now and just sit with it, feel it. Notice how that feels. And from this day forward, anytime you think of your color and or put your hand to your heart, boom, bam, shazam. You feel so much passion, excitement, motivation. You'll do one thing every day until you've achieved your dream, your goal, and then you move on to the next. Just sit there. I'm going to count from 1 to 3. You'll open your eyes. You'll take a deep breath in and just feel good. 1, feeling fantastic. 2, almost there. On this next count, eyes open, awake, aware, feeling great. It happens now. 3.
You know, I've got 60 minutes, 90 minutes, or maybe 2 hours with any group. And I get to tell them some things that they probably already know, or do some things that they see in a very fascinating way delivered through hypnosis. But the key is, what do they do after? Do they take that stuff and do anything with it? And so my hope, because I can't handhold people, is that I inspire them enough, or I move them enough to start creating the daily disciplines, the routines that we all know. When we create these habits of success, we become successful. So a lot of people know how to become successful, or they know how to hit their targets, or they know how to manage their stress, but they're not doing it because they're not implementing those day-to-day little things that make the difference. 10 minutes a day of visualizing your goal as if you've achieved it, or 10 minutes a day of relaxing your mind. So for me to break that stuff down and do it in a fun way, because a lot of the clients, they get me because they want it to be fun, exciting, because they've had the same old things. So I'm just so excited to step up to that, because 1, people laugh, they have fun, it's exciting, and there's some takeaways, some tangible takeaways that people can transfer right away, and it becomes a skill for them.